Good afternoon, folks. Mike Wells, your World Explorer. Today we are going to explore Sebastian Harbor Preserve Conservation Area. Now, this place is a place that not many people know about at all. It's very highly unexplored. However, they have put a lot of energy into this location over the years. I've been coming back here for a good amount of time, and I really enjoy this location. So you can see they've been working on the pathways and kind of getting some of this overbrush removed. But what are we going to find back here? Well, you'll have to come with me and we'll figure this out together. Right away, I see a lot of big birds back there in the trees, the tree canopies. So if we look right up here, what is that? Right there. Look at that. Looks like a giant bird's nest. So we'll go out here and we'll explore this. In my opinion, this place is really beautiful. Let's just trot off the beaten path. I think there's something to see back here. I can't be certain, but right now there hasn't been a whole lot of rain, if you will. Look at this pine. That's really neat. So if we go this way, it looks like there have been turtles digging back here. Oh, look at that. That's either an osprey or an eagle. Can't figure out which one it is at this point. Wow. I don't see any signs of turtles. Well, that's a shame, because I was pretty certain that some turtles did live back here over the years. But these trees, these Eliade pines right here, that's what you're looking at. Technical term is Pinus Eliade. They're actually ready to come back really strong in this location, which is really good news. All right, I'm switching my views. So I have this gimbal set up that works really well, and I'm switching away from flat horizon to a full view, which enables me to turn. But what you see here is a bunch of different flowers that I think are coming up out of the ground. So in a few months maybe we'll see these flowers. I can't be certain, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Now, throughout the year, we will actually see many different flowers in bloom. So if you look, different times of the year, different flowers bloom. So traveling through these trails throughout the different times of the year isn't a bad idea. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in as far as we can zoom. You see that bird right there? He's holding something in his talons. I'm trying to get a clear focus, but it's difficult sometimes, especially when these trees are so far away. So we'll go ahead and pull back. So the nest is right, where are we at? Right there. So these birds are doing something, I'm not sure. Okay, we're not having much luck at this location. The sun is in the wrong spot for us to get a good shot, so we're just gonna go ahead and march forward and see if we can get around. We're getting closer. There it is. They're probably feeding some babies, I'd imagine. This place is fancy. Now, upon entrance here, we are next to a home development area, so don't go wandering off into anybody's property. You have to stay on the preserve. That's a big jarbled mess of a nest. Huh. See if we can get around to it. I would really like to get a better shot. I hear more birds. I switched to half view instead of all view, and that enables me to keep a very clean shot as I'm walking, specifically on the horizon. Only thing is, I can't really pan up into the trees unless I use the joystick. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're getting closer. So this is really cool. Let me see if I can squeeze through this location. I don't want to get too close because I don't want to agitate the birds, but I'd like to get closer so I can get a better shot. Not much going on. You can't see a whole lot going on there. Okay, we're back on the main trail setup, but this is a beautiful scene. Really love this environment out here. Here's an old dead pine. Now they don't do controlled burns over here. If they did that, that would put the neighborhoods at risk of fire. So instead they try to manage by tearing everything up, which, hey, that, you know, looks like it works. Not a bad idea. So we'll just keep heading on this way. I'm hoping to see some flowers. You've got everything has an opportunity to bloom. These guys here, they make a whole bunch of really interesting looking, bulky looking flowers. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but looks like a little bell almost. It makes a whole bunch of them. Oh yeah, look. Here's what I'm talking about. Let's get up in here and we'll take a look. Pretty cool, huh? And that tree is dying. It's not dead, it'll come back, but it's definitely parched. Because we're in what is considered a highland area where the sediment and the sand is higher than most of the other areas. So there's very little, the water table is a little deeper here for most of this environment, most of these plants and trees and whatnot. You'll see lizards out here. Beautiful scene right here. Very pretty. Yeah, so today I'm experimenting with half view and all view. I'm gonna keep switching between the two because I like them both. Half view keeps my camera very steady. Full view keeps my camera very steady with the option to pan without having to use the joystick. So that's that. So we are at a spot where there's like a field right in front of me, but I can't see past these trees, so I have to lift my camera up to be able to see anything. So hopefully we'll find a spot where we can break into that. So we'll go up. I'll meet you up there. All right, we're up a little further. Big, beautiful pine tree. Oh, you know what? We just came to a break. Look. Very fancy. You know what I'm seeing too? Florida's blackberries. They're growing out here. So I wonder if these guys take hold here, they could potentially take over, which would be really cool because it's always nice to have a place to go berry picking. Now let's look at what we have here. Wow. You know what I see are a bunch of flowers getting ready to show themselves. Look at this, the whole thing. When it starts to rain, this area will look way different, way more lush. And a lot of the weeds will die and other things will grow in their stead. So let's take a look. What kind of flowers are we working with here? These are neat little yellow flowers. You'll see these everywhere. Anyhow, this scene, very nice. And it only gets better over time, so stick with me and you'll be able to see all the beautiful things that grow out here in due time. All right, we are gonna march on. Looks like we could go this way, or I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to the main trail. But the pine trees and whatnot are really cool. They're just really fresh looking right now. I'm really happy. We've got some ferns that grow too. Look at that, huh? Beautiful. Really pretty scenes here. It smells very nice out here too. It's like no pollution. Also, if you're interested, there are these pine cones everywhere. They're kind of big too, so just for example. They're all over the place. Here's a nice live oak. I'm not sure if it's a southern live oak or a Florida southern live oak. The difference between a southern live oak and a Florida southern live oak is one only gets about 30 feet tall, the other grows perpetually massive. And the Florida live oak is the one that only gets 30 feet tall. Wow, this is such a very nice biome out here. It's like a highlands biome, if you will. Look at the pretty scenery. Just fantastic. What a nice day too. The sun is out, it's cool. There's a breeze. Very good weather for this. All right, back on the main path. Just smells so fresh out here, so clear, so untainted. Wow, this place is so fancy looking. I love how these Eliade pines grow. In the spring they throw off all these new leaf growths. And it makes them look really cool. Look at this beautiful scene. Just so pristine, huh? Look at that, that's picturesque. If you're a photographer, I'm telling you, there are so many opportunities. This preserve's kind of big, and it's in the middle of all the neighborhoods. It's one of the last relics of this location in the deep part of Sebastian. So before they developed all the homes in this area, this is what you saw mostly, was this scrub and this piney type of environment with all the Florida sugar sand all over the place. And you can't forget the cabbage palms. They're all over, everywhere. Beautiful scene. One thing that disrupts the scene is that cell tower way over there. You see it coming out behind that tree? Yeah, I don't like that, but I'm thinking technology will advance in due time, and we won't be needing cell towers at some point. Maybe we'll switch to all satellite, who knows? See, my hands and whatnot are all jiggly, but that's not the case with my phone because of this gimbal technology that I'm utilizing. So if you look, these are cool. Wow, those are so fancy. It reminds me of a dandelion. You can see those, if you blow on them, they'll just go. Well, I'd have to blow a lot harder apparently, so I'll just leave them alone. But there's a bunch of those out here. Let's look for more flowers. That's really what I'm after, is I want to see some amazing flowers. I think I've seen, oh yeah, there are some flowers out there that are looking pretty nice. There's a lot of them. Look at these poofy flowers. This is what I want to see a bunch of. Now in the past, I've seen huge swaths of these flowers right here. Huge, massive swaths. Okay. Oh, what's going on here? Little bug on that one. This one looks pretty nice. Let's move upward. And we'll zoom in. Beautiful. That is such a fancy looking flower. Now there's a bunch of those out here at different times, a specific time of the year, and I don't remember when. So, oh, I just got to get this shot for you folks. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. So many neat things to see. All right, let's keep going. It's just the subtle, simple things that really stand out in this environment. I appreciate this for myself because, I don't know, I've gotten tired of electronics, and this is what I seek. I seek real adventure. I used to do MMORPGs. I used to play all the time, and I just didn't feel very fulfilled by them. Ooh, look at this path. This one kind of breaks into 5 directions, it looks like. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th we just came off of. So I see some cardinals, some red cardinals. Let's see if we can get a little closer to them, if they will allow us. You can hear him. He's very loud. I don't know if you can see him. He's right in there. It's tough to get a good shot of him. So there's a high likelihood that we will see more. Now what I'd like to do is just keep pressing on, and I see there is a really magnificent looking field up ahead. I also see, oh, there's that cardinal. All right, so he's right where that tree is. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see if we can spot him. Do you see him? Oh, he's in the tree. Right there. I don't know if you can see that. There. Where's he at? Right there. I don't know. So we'll pull back. He's just hanging. And if you look over this way, you'll see there's another giant bird's nest in the distance. We're going to try to make it out to that one. Like I said, I don't know if there's eagles out here or ospreys, Could be a mixture of both. I don't know. I'd have to get close enough to them to actually observe their colors and the beak and their heads and their talons. So this is a field. I think this field turns into something when it's wet season. So we'll just keep walking. There are more little yellow flowers that are starting to pop out all over the place, but it's a different type of yellow flower, if you will. See that right there? That's not bad. Another one. So, very cool. As far as hogs go, in this location out here, I haven't seen any ever. That's not to say they don't exist, because there's a chance they do, because they can easily travel from the outer parts in the middle of the night and get into this preserve. But that's a dense setting of flowers there, the yellow ones. Like I said, this whole field would be full of these at some point. They're really, really cool. Look, there's a giant bird coming over there. That, in my opinion, looks like an osprey. Oh no, that's a heron. That's a heron, yeah. Not an osprey. Every now and again you'll see the Brazilian pepper. They're an invasive. I think I see a strangler fig right now too. Those are cool. It's that plant. They grab onto different trees and just kind of, you know, piggyback off of them for extra support. But they can get huge. The strangler fig can actually take over trees and become the tree. Very interesting biome out here. There are a few slight pink flowers out here that I'm starting to see. Like right in here. You'll see this one. That's a pretty pink flower. Let's get right up to it. Very nice, huh? Beautiful setting. Oh wow, this is the first I've seen of this particular flower. But you might be able to see a speck of it in the camera. This is a different pink flower, but this one, wow, this one, they grow really fantastically and abundantly when they do start to come out. And here there are several that are going to be blooming soon. But look at that, look how fancy that is. Such a pretty flower. Those are starting to bloom, which is awesome. We're in the middle of April. Actually, it's more toward late April. We are in the middle of the third week of April. So, wow, look at this environment. Everything is just so ready to grow. Just incredible. So pretty out here. And like I said, nobody knows, barely anybody knows this exists out here. No, not a lot of folks take advantage of the opportunities to come out here and just enjoy the quiet. And all of the different creatures that exist out here. I see an abundance of yellow flowers, so let's just go over here and take a look. I see a boardwalk. Wow, we're gonna have to get on that boardwalk somehow. Look at all these yellow flowers though. Just little fields of beautiful yellow flowers. Yeah, that is so cool. But yeah, I want to get on that boardwalk, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. I still want to go this way though, so we'll come around to that. I'm not sure when we will, but we'll get it. We'll come around to it on the way back. I didn't even know that existed out here. This is a good time of the year to come out here too, because it's not super wet. It's not wet at all actually. This is the driest time of our year is now. Florida. This is the driest month. And May too ends up being pretty dry. Yeah, look at that. That's neat. Lots of yellow flowers out here. It's incredible. Wow. This is a very attractive pine forest. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera this way. I think I see a turtle den, possibly, or a remnant. I don't know. It doesn't look active. So that would have been a gopher tortoise. But usually when they're active, you can tell because there's footprints in and out and it looks very heavily worn. And they're always constantly trying to make their hole a little bigger. That looks like an abandoned den Now this is, I've never been this far back, so all of this is new to me. Wow, this is a nice forest. Okay, I see the boardwalk, so I want to try to get to that boardwalk. So we'll head back on the boardwalk is what I am thinking. This pine forest is somewhat young, so that's neat. It's really cool to see this stage of a pine forest, the more youthful stage, the young stage. Wow. More of those flower bursts over there. You see them on the ground over there. The yellow ones. When I get to a nice dense patch, I'll show you. Looks like we're edging up on the border of the preserve over here. I bet you people take their pets back here to walk them. Yeah, this goes way back there. So we'll see if we're up for the challenge today, but might have to save that for another day, another video, because I don't want to wear myself out too heavy. I do have other things I need to do today, so can't hang out here all day. Wow, I am very attracted to this though. What do we have here? That pine died. That's odd. They don't usually croak like that in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so park management apparently has been out here. I'm seeing more blackberry starts, if you will. So this could become a very nice blackberry patch at some point. But look, wow, you do not want to get your shins locked onto that. Look at those thorns, folks. Those are hook thorns. When they grab onto you, there's no way you cannot feel it. I'm really taking a risk out here. But look, here's a bunch of blackberries that are growing. They're in their infancy, so they may not fully develop. It doesn't look like these guys are very happy or have a lot of fruit to give, if you will. But they're here, and that's a really good sign. I'm happy to see that. These are definitely indigenous to this area, to Florida. So now it looks like we're going right through the middle of a very large blackberry patch, if you will. So those blackberries are starting to grow, but they don't look like they got very good pollination, so I'm really wondering. It's really cool though that we found this, because I didn't know there were blackberries out here. Look, here's a bunch more. Bunch of blackberries. This whole area is blackberries. That's great news. So we've discovered a new blackberry patch. An indigenous blackberry patch. Very good. That's what we want. We want more resources at our fingertips, more knowledge of our area. That's what we like. Now again, I don't see very many blackberries on them, which is probably just a sign of a low pollination ratio, but that can be fixed, especially when, you know, things change. There's a few signs of producing blackberries right there. So I'm just gonna have to watch my steps because we do not want to be carrying blackberry thorns on our shins. Yeah, we came right through a blackberry patch. This is incredible. Now, to get these guys to produce, we would likely have to attract some bees out here. That's not terribly hard. I know the insecticide programs that they use to kill off mosquitoes have changed over the years. So what you used to see, wow, hold on, hold that thought. I gotta really pay attention to what's going on here. Wow, this is a huge prairie, it looks like. Let me watch my shins. I've never been this far back. It looks like someone's private residence. They've been either encroaching or we're encroaching, so we want to stay away from there. So we'll go ahead and go. Wow, there's actually water here. There is water, folks. I don't know if you can see. But yeah, there's some water in there. We'll go ahead and walk around. Oh, that's a big blue heron. We'll go this way. So yeah, the fence does not cut through the water. That's what it is. So we're safe to go to the right. This is cool. Yeah, see the water? Very obvious here. Lots of water. So that's an indication as to where the water table sits. Very good knowledge for you. And it's good to know that water is there too, because this is the driest time of the year. If you ever needed water in an apocalyptic situation, well, you would know where to get it. Wow, the sights and scenes here are amazing. Okay, so yeah, this park extends way back there, and those are very mature pine trees. That is a mature pine forest. We have to save that excursion for a very other day. But I do want to get back there and show you what's going on, because I too have never been back there. Okay, so I do say this, I do cover a lot of the same material in many of my videos, but that's because different folks watch different videos, and you never know if they only watch one different video and you watched a different video than that, and it was about Florida and I didn't cover this in that video, then you wouldn't know. But this is called, I think it's the palmetto. And what it does is it grows these berries from these little bulb thingies here. Those berries, people, they try to poach them and harvest them and take them and sell them by the pound. I'm not sure what the price is per pound, but it's pretty high. And what people will do, you have to have a license to do that now. So you have to obtain a license. I don't think that's a very expensive license. They just want to know who's doing what and where they're doing it. Because this is a natural resource here, and creatures apparently eat those berries. So we have to keep them in mind, but we can't discount the human being from the animal kingdom either. Now, those berries are used for a specific medicine that is used to treat prostate cancer. So yeah, you never know who in your family could develop prostate cancer, so don't be so quick to just say, oh, leave it for nature, never touch it, how dare us. No. This stuff's here in abundance. This stuff will reclaim the lands long after we've perished away. It was here before us, it'll be here after us. It will take over everything. So I'm not even slightly or remotely worried about our impact on these environments. Now, I do believe in responsible stewardship. So I'm not one to say, oh, pollution is good. No, I don't believe in that either. So we need to be responsible and manage our trash and our waste in a very responsible way. Hopefully we could recycle. We could recycle what waste we have and put it to good use. Because technically nothing is waste. Everything can be made into something different or repurposed. What is going on out here? Something big over here, folks. It was just jumping out of that tree. So, I don't think I want to get in there. I can hear it walking away. But here's something that is a little concerning. What is this? So this is a big dig out, if you will, that was probably created by a wild hog, and very recently. That is very odd. But I did say it was possible, and well, here we are. This area looks amazing. I really want to just travel through this. But there's that boardwalk over there. I don't know if you can see that in this film. I'll zoom in for you. You see that? I really want to get to that boardwalk. So wherever we are going right now, it doesn't seem to have a path. So look down here, we see some natural trails, right, from the animals. So we're just kind of following those natural trails, those lines, if you will. Up here looks pretty cool. This unique grass. Beautiful location. All right, I'm gonna keep heading this way. All right, we will just keep moving. And I might have to squeeze through because this definitely is not part of any kind of trail system I was expecting. Okay, so yeah, this is a part we can squeeze through at. It looks like the park services, who probably aren't out here very often, they have cleared this path for you, so good. Now I really want to go out onto that boardwalk that we saw to the left up here. My question is, should we? Man, because I know it's right up there, so that's what we'll do. We'll go. We're going. I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna make you wait. Let's go look. Beautiful, beautiful pines. There's the pine core right there. I cover this in other videos too. I already told you why I do. But if you look, this pine tree, and this is a great opportunity to educate. This pine tree here is very established, very big, okay? Let's go look at its counterpart, the dead pine tree that's been dead for probably over 20 years. Okay, there's the pine core that was left behind. It's 1/3 or 1/4 the size of the other pine, okay? So inside of that pine core right there is a turpentine resin that keeps the bugs and the fungus out of that wood, okay? So what happens is the white wood on the outside rots away, leaving behind very much intact the skeletal remain. It's one of the most interesting pines, in my opinion, on the face of the planet. And for that reason. So if you think back in the old days, it would have been a good idea to utilize that wood for construction, for building your homes and whatnot. It would have been a really good idea. Now that boardwalk should be up here. So anyhow, back to the mosquito program. I know they changed it up. They use less destructive, poisonous methodology today. And now they focus primarily on the breeding aspect. So now, if you've seen an increase in the fly activity throughout your neighborhoods, well, that's why. Because the mosquito control used to be able to also affect the flies. They used to kill off the flies with the same poison that they killed off the mosquitoes. Not anymore. They stopped using it. Now the flies are running rampant. They're just everywhere. It's horrendous. But we still have, a big reduction in the mosquito population. So effective against mosquitoes, no longer effective against flies. So hopefully now they're going to have to deal with the opposing pestilence that has been enabled to propagate as a result of that change. Wow. Look at this, folks. Beautiful. Okay, so we're heading in this way. This is an overlook. That's awesome. So during the summer, when the rainy season really kicks up, oh my. Yeah, there are hogs that have been coming around out here. There's undeniable evidence of this. Right there. Definitely over here. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Yeah, they've been rooting heavily. See that? Well, this is where the grubs would probably be, so You know, if they knew to go toward the dead trees and logs and stuff that are laying on the ground and chew through them, they would find all the grubs they ever wanted. Because that's where the grubs really hang out at, is in that dead wood. So we'll just go ahead and travel through here momentarily. I'm going to be honest, I want to go through this forest. This is a very old, mature pine forest of the Eliade pines, and it warrants our exploration, but today's not the day. Thought I heard something rustling in the palmettos. So what we'll do is we'll turn around and we'll head back. We will cover this forest another day, folks. Another day. Because I do have to get back. But just know that I really want to. So we'll head back up to that tree. Okay, we've made it to this tree. Let's make it to the next tree. The one where we did the comparison between the dead pine core and the live pine. Here we are. All right, I'm just going to keep heading up this way. Now we're going to find this boardwalk on our way back through. See, these trails wind back and forth through, in and out of this entire preserve. So you'll have a lot of experiences when you come back here. There's a lot to see, a lot of trails to traverse. We were going to stay on that trail, but we decided to go the way of the prairie. So here we are, going back on the trail that we perceivably think the boardwalk is on. Hopefully I'm right. Lots of these pretty flowers. Look. Right there. Look at all they're all coming up. This is the time of the year. Very cool. So many. It's unreal. Another pine core. Boom. Just so many pine cores. If you ever had to use that wood for anything other than starter wood, there would be an abundance, at least in the beginning. Such a peaceful environment. I do hear airplanes and things in the background, which disrupt the beauty and the peace, but what can you do? So, I don't know what's going on here. Hopefully we've made it to the boardwalk trail. Okay, so we'll head this way. We're just gonna go with our instincts here. Beautiful scenery. Thanks to this smartphone gimbal, I'm able to get these really good shots for you. Very clear, smooth shots. There's that dead pine that we saw from the opposing side, so at least now I believe I know for a fact we're on the right side. Here are some nice oak trees. That's a live oak, and it's a junior live oak. Still though, these are nice to see out here, because I know in due time this will evolve into an oak cathedral environment. So basically an oak hammock. Now oak hammocks can be big. See, I want to go that way someday too. So we'll be out here again, folks. Oak hammocks can be filled with big oaks, or they can be filled with small oaks. There are a few types of oak hammocks, and you'll recognize that. You will observe that in enough time of being out here in these natural environments. We found it. Here we are, folks. Very cool. Now let's see what we're missing. Nice scenery, huh? So this is a prairie, and it has quite a few flowers growing within it. Wow. It's so pretty. Like, look at that nature trail. That's pretty cool. Wow. This is really neat. Here's the pine forest over this way, the young pine forest. Okay, so I'm suspicious. I am suspicious. Do you see what I see? There's a big garbage can there. That's very unusual. I wonder what it's doing out here. Well, it looks like it has garbage in it, so it may be serving its purpose. I thought maybe there would be some evidence of poachers at least planting that there for future use, trying to grab these berries, but who knows? I don't know. Looks like it's being used as a garbage can. Look at this oak tree. Beautiful. It looks like it's a conglomerate of oaks. When we start covering oak forests, which we will soon, now that we have this gimbal in hand, I will definitely be educating you on all the amazing things that you can spot within the oak hammocks. Because those environments, they're also a beauty of their own. They're marvelous. They're just amazing. Look at this. Look at this environment. So cool looking. All right, so there's a huge bird out there. You see him? Can't really get that great of a shot from here. I want to go visit him, but today's not the day. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be coming up to a different nest soon. Oh, there it is, right there. So we might go visit that nest, hopefully to get a good shot. But yeah, very, very cool environment for these. I mean, I see these birds out here and they really do own this area. They literally keep the wildlife in check around here. There are hawks throughout our neighborhoods that keep the wildlife in check as well. So I'm not gonna probably not make it to that bird's nest, but we'll go ahead and zoom in on it to give you a view. Very interesting. That is a classic shot right there. So now you know they're out here. Come and film them if you're brave. All right, we have found the continuation of this boardwalk. Yes. Let's see. Must be going over another prairie here. Pretty sure we walked right by this and got a view of it from over there. So let's check this side. Very interesting. Now there's a very wet patch back there that has me intrigued because I think I see lilies on it. This would be worth breaking off the beaten path to go visit, because there may be some sandhill cranes back there, and right now is the time of the year when the babies are coming out of their eggs. So yeah, we'll head back. We'll head through this way. Beautiful pines. Looky, look. Wow, just growing so happily. I hope we get many, many years of no hurricanes, because the hurricanes do so much damage. Well, it looks like we're not going to make it back to the lily area right now, because this trail does not lead to it, but that's okay. We've seen quite a bit today. Here's some more oaks trying to make their way in this environment. Here's an older pine core. Looks like was a younger tree. Now we'll just head back on this path. This path is kind of drab. I can tell you that just from looking at it right now. So we'll just keep our eyes open, see if we can spot anything amazing. Here are some of those special ferns. grow in this environment. If you want to really get a good close-up. Here's one of those pine cores. Look at the gemminess of the wood. Holy smokes. Look what they left behind. Look at that. Let's see if the sun will shine through it. See that? See how gemmy that is? The sun shines through it. It's so gemmy. It's incredible. What an awesome example to show you folks here today. I put it back. But yeah, this is a great little preserve. This will keep you busy all day if you try to do the whole thing. I mean, it's pretty big. It's pretty expansive, but it's not nearly as big as the St. Sebastian River Preserve State Park. That place will keep you busy for years, literally. All right. We're going to keep heading back through this direction. You see a lot of birds zooming by the camera. Here's a neat little prairie area. It's cool how my camera stays level. Now I've heard there are 5-axis gimbals, so maybe at some point I'll graduate to that, but those are expensive. Those are like $200 minimum. That would probably give us the smoothest possible shots ever, but at this juncture, I mean, the smoothness of these shots does the job. Whoa! Folks, we are very blessed. We have come across a very rare plant type. I forget the name of it, unfortunately, but perhaps you could inform me. But here we are. Look at these interesting growths, these flowers. Look at that, huh? Incredible. Incredible. There are several of them in this area. So we'll go over here. Look, there's some more right here. We're gonna assist by removing that. These guys look like they've been run over a bit. Beautiful though, huh? It looks like a variation of the flower bursts that we've seen already. You see there's several of them on the ground in this spot. They're abundant in this spot, but wow, look at that. That is so cool. So cool. More there. More there. There. So we've seen it. That's what I'm talking about. Special flowers. They're all coming up a bunch of them coming up now. Here's a nice cluster right here. Wow, look at that cluster. Unbelievable. The sheer beauty. Just very fancy. Very cool. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting hot, but I want to cover this place to the very end, to where we make it back to the entrance. I wasn't expecting to be walking out this far today. Yeah, the summertime is going to be brutal, but you're still going to see me out in these places. I'll just wear cooler gear. Let's get back. I just want you to enjoy the scenery as I go. Oh wow. That is a red cockaded woodpecker on that big tree right there. There he is. Wow. If we could get close to it and see it. Sometimes those guys will come to my house and pound on the side of my house. I just have to shoo them away because you don't want to be killing an endangered species or anything like that. Okay, so we might be able to get a close-up of it. He is big. there's 2 of them. Wow. Three of them. Oh, there's babies. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see that. That's incredible. There's a bunch of them. So there's ones. Yeah, there's a mama in there and there's 2 babies. That's incredible. Let me see if I can get a more side shot. I didn't even know they were doing this till just now. The sun is so bright I can't see anything. Okay, let's get a better focus. That's incredible. So now I know that it's no longer a mystery. How the red-cockaded woodpecker nests. That's incredible, folks. Wow, what a treat for today, huh? Never seen that before. So the birds own this tract, literally. All of the big birds in the animal kingdom around here own this area. Folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. That helps the channel grow. And stay tuned, because I'll be covering a lot more of these areas and these different preserves throughout Florida. Have a great day.